Hey, hi guys, Thunder E here. And if you're watching this live or you're watching this later, you probably heard the news that Robert Downey Jr. will be in Captain America 3. So it was broken, the news was broken on by Variety, which is pretty much one of the most trusted sources you can get in entertainment. And basically saying that Captain America, sorry, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. will be in Captain America 3. And this has been a long, ongoing process. So I'm going to read some of the things from the article, and I'll give you my thoughts on what I think about it, and the idea of Robert Downey Jr. showing up and what it means, especially for Marvel films. So the deal is very significant, and basically what Variety is talking about here is that this is going to be part of Civil War. Now, if you ever know anything about Civil War and Marvel comic books, this is probably one of the best uh, big series Marvel's ever had, period, I think. Civil War basically pits Captain America versus um, Iron Man in terms of superhero registration. So this whole thing about superheroes registering under the government because they needed to get that, basically know who's underneath the mask. Now, I don't know how this story will fold out. I don't think it's going to be in its pure form in the comic books because Shield was also a big part of that, and in Captain America 2, you found out that, of course, Shield got disbanded. So it might be a little different, but that's the crux of the story. And also, Spider-Man was in the center. I mean, Spider-Man was pretty much one of the main major characters within that story, which kind of lends credence to a lot of that whole talk about Sony and Marvel, and talks about Spider-Man in there. So um so basically the deal here is that I'm just gonna read some of the stuff here. So originally Marvel wanted to hire Robert Downey Jr. for a small role in Captain America 3, which he was planning to just shoot for 3 weeks of work. But Downey wanted, of course, Stark to have a more substantial role in the film, which would give him more screen time, naturally, but of course, a bigger payday, which Marvel's entertainment chief, Ike Perlmutter, didn't like. And he asked the writers to basically just write out Iron Man out of the script. Kevin Feige, of course, wanted to have his grand plan. So Feige basically kept talks going on with Downey and Downey's people, and eventually convinced his boss basically to you know have Captain Iron Man in this. So the executives needed, so that just to give you some recap here. So Feige, the introduction of Civil War story is seen as a way to drive the plot and sequels of new franchises for the next 7 years, given the dramatic possibility offers in future films. The fallout from the government and Stark actions would factor into Avengers 4 film. So they're really pushing it far ahead, not just Avengers or one, two, three, four, and beyond, with new characters like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, and others being involved in this whole thing. Now, so it looks like, again, they really want to make this a very big universe, I mean, it's already a big universe, but we want to make it a more cohesive universe. It's one of my beefs with Marvel and all that stuff that they do. Now, here's the catch, and here's why there's a lot of hesitancy. And of course, Robert Downey Jr. has talked about him working with Marvel in doing more movies. Now, Robert Downey Jr. made $50 million from Avengers alone, and he collected around 40 million plus back end, and he will collect 40 million back end participation from Captain America 3, which means he'll be producing Captain America 3, which he's expected to outperform Captain America 2, which makes a lot of sense in there, since he didn't appear in the first two movies. Now, Chris Evans also is a big star, but I think he's still on the contract. So basically, Iron Man will be making, again, more money than Captain America in his own movie. Some of the interesting facts that I see here is that Robert Downey Jr. has reaped close between 250 and $300 million from the Iron Man trilogy and Avengers movie. So he's made a lot of money. I can see why there was a lot of difficulty in getting this deal done altogether. And again, you can see Rob Downey really hasn't had much big movies in terms of like big blockbusters. Judge opened at 13.3 million, number 5 this weekend. So I can see why he's been trying to lobby for more stuff in the Marvel universe. Now, the thing about this is that Civil War coming in really brings two things in mind for me. I think number one, I don't think Civil War was the initial plan, but I personally think that the advent of Batman Superman really changes things for Marvel. Marvel was probably looking for a way to bring a more cohesive nature, because I've always complained about it. I said I don't like the fact that in every single Marvel movie, Thor's doing something, Iron Man can't help. He's not around, or there's no shield. Like no one answers the phone, or Captain America is going through stuff. And where was, I mean, other than um, Black Widow, where's Iron Man? Where is Hawkeye? Hawkeye was supposed to show up in that movie. So those kind of things are in there, and it's going to be interesting to see how that comes in together. But if they do follow most of that Civil War storyline, I'll be very excited to see. Now, this also, I think WB probably happy that they shifted dates, because now you think about it, it would have been such a huge box office weekend with Captain America 3 and Batman Superman the same weekend, that it would have been crazy. I mean, both would lose money. I still think Batman Superman would have made more, but both would eventually just lose money, because you just don't have it's almost like dropping two atomic bombs in the same weekend. So I don't think that was a good idea. So I'm actually happy that Batman Superman is way ahead. I can really enjoy that for a couple of months, and then go ahead and see Captain America 3. Now, the other interesting part about this whole thing is that you have Civil War storyline. Civil War storyline, to me, Spider-Man was really one of the most pivotal characters within the Civil War storyline. So I think that really plays a lot of credence to Sony trying to bring Spider-Man, or at least Marvel trying to bring Spider-Man back into the Marvel fold in some form or fashion. So it's interesting to see that those rumors or talks are going on, and then we hear that uh, Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man showing up, and it's going to be Civil War storyline. So, Kings of Comics 72726 says Hawkeye was going to be in a Captain America Winter Soldier, but the actor didn't have time. No, I get it. I agree on that part. I like the fact that Black Widow showed up, but one of the things that I didn't like about Thor 2 was that they had a scene where they tried to call Shield, and no one Shield picked up the phone. I was like, that's just bullocks. It's Shield. Shield always answers the phones. Come on, it's just complete crap. And again, where are the big guns to help him out? That kind of thing. Like, it's kind of thing that bothered me. Same thing with Iron Man 3. Like, Iron Man was having all these issues. I mean, Tony Stark was in the news. They blew up his house. Nobody showed up. Captain America didn't show up. Hulk didn't show up. No one showed up. So I like that they're now addressing those facts. Trying to bring a more cohesive nature in there, where Iron Man's going to be in this one. That to me, that's cool. That makes it more cohesive and makes it go across the line. And with Spider, I guess, like I said, with Civil War, if you've read the Civil War comics, is basically Spider-Man was the first. I'm not spoiling for anyone here, but you should have read it's old. Spider-Man was the first hero to basically out himself in public. Basically, he took off his mask and said, "I am Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man since I was a teenager." And that was a huge thing, and Spider-Man's life got ruined, completely ruined, because of Tony Stark. Tony Stark. So and if Variety is saying that they're going with that storyline, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe because of the outing of Shield, Tony Stark maybe probably comes up and said, okay, maybe we should just register ourselves as superheroes so everybody knows who we are, and then we can police and do more stuff better. And then Captain America is like, no, I mean, people have some privacy. People want to do what they want to do. Come on, it's not like, one of those things. Not like we should do that there. So that would be interesting to see if that pans out. Now, Kings of Comics 726 says, like, Hulk should be in one of those movies because he doesn't have any solo film anytime. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, people would love to see Hulk at least show up to help Thor at some level, or I mean, something like that. I'm not necessarily in every movie, but I mean, again, like I said, that's the kind of thing that I would like to see from Marvel as things go forward. And there's all talks about maybe Avengers 3 will have almost a whole totally different cast, things like that. So this story is very interesting to hear that, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Iron Man 3. He talked about, oh, he's going to be in more movies. And we knew there wasn't going to be an Iron Man 4, but it's nice to see that he's going to be placed in other movies. He might also show up in TV. That was some of the rumors there with this. But look, he's making a killing. I mean, he made $300 million from the Iron Man franchise, as well as Avengers 3, and he's going to make 40 million from Captain America. That's ridiculous. So he's making a lot of money from this. So he should be happy. And yeah, I mean, Kingdom's Come is just talking about some of the Civil War plot lines. Spider-Man joined Iron Man, then they had Iron Spider, and then joined Captain America. Yeah, because he got screwed over. That's how I like to call it. Now, the other thing too is that the Marvel is also redoing Civil War comic or Civil War series in 2015, kind of basically just setting things up for what will happen. Because with all the comic book movies, nowadays they follow what's in their latest comic version. So a lot of things from Marvel universe is kind of similar to some of the newer stuff in the comics. And it looks like they're going to do that there. Now, just another quick news, what we heard this today also. Again, it's a lot of like big entertainment news now. We also heard from the producer of Batman versus Superman, and he said a couple cool key things. I'm going to go back to Marvel. I just wanted to just point this out here. He said the Ben Affleck was the first person they went to talk for the casting. He said Christopher Nolan was involved in the casting of Ben Affleck. They wanted Batman to be bigger and taller than Superman, not by much, but since he's 6'4", Superman is 6'2", at least Henry Cavill is 6'2", just to see that size difference, so that you can tell that Batman at least is a physically big dude, and then also the fact that his Batman is going to be rougher and just more brutal, and he also talked about the fact that his Bruce Wayne would be more of a socialite. So more than what we've seen in the past from any other Batmans and Bruce Waynes. Then he also said that Wonder Woman, is a demigod and she is the daughter of Zeus. So this is in line with the new 52 comic books. So some people may complain that's not her original origins. It's still in the comics, so it's canon. That's just what it is. But it's still tied in anyway because originally Wonder Woman was created by her mother from clay and sand, and she was still given life by the gods. So she's still a demigod anyway. So it's not like it's not the same thing. So anyway, that's interesting to see. And again, in that world too, they're making all these connections, trying to make it a connected story there. So I'd love to hear you guys your thoughts on Captain America 3 and Iron Man's involvement. What do you guys think about that? Are you excited? Does this make it now 2016 like one of the craziest years for superhero movies? Because you now have like literally this has bumped Captain America 3 to a higher status of a comic book movie. Like I looked at Captain America 3 versus Batman Superman. I was like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be a big movie, but I didn't think it was gonna be as big. It's still I didn't think it was going to be as big as Batman Superman. Now with Iron Man included, this really has moved it forward. And really raised the stakes of Captain America 3. So I won't be surprised if we see, like literally off the gate this summer. I believe that Batman Superman is going to be a $1 billion franchise, like $1 billion movie off the gate. Like by the time May rolls by, it will hit $1 billion. If it's a fantastic movie, it's gonna be 1.5. I think Captain America 3 will also hit $1 billion also. So I mean, to me, this is really exciting news as a comic book guy. You getting all these like different superheroes, and you're getting superhero movies and all this interconnectivity and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think about Captain America. Iron Man showing up in the Captain America 3 movie, and how that implies to greater storylines and things like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, stuff like that there. Because it looks like Marvel really wants to take this as just like an ongoing series of stories. At some point they have to do a refresh, because I don't think the viewing audience will continue to remember everything that's happened from like from Iron Man 1, which is the first movie. So this is like an ongoing series of things, and how that interjects with Guardians of the Galaxy, or maybe they will still keep that a little bit separate, with maybe just a few people interjecting over there. So that's something to see. But this is pretty interesting news altogether. Looking at some of the stuff that Variety said here, and going back to the article, talking about Civil War, is like basically they're really talking about the fact that the storyline is close to the original Civil War storyline, where Stark supports the Red program, but Rogers, Captain America, does not. He says it threatens civil liberties, cousin sides to be taken, and Rogers, among others, to go. I'm sorry. I'm kind of reading here, and Captain America will be on the run, avoiding arrest. The moral question and battle with his Avengers team is essentially makes Stark a villain of sorts in Captain America 3. So basically, Civil War technically starts in Captain America 3, provided Downey with a media role, including a fourth Avengers movie. So it seemed, which it'll be interesting to see. So we have Age of Ultron coming next year, and then after Age of Ultron, now which to me it's almost like Iron Man's like is becomes a villain in two movies, because from all indication, he's the one who created Ultron. Ultron was born from one of his creations. So he makes Ultron. That means Captain America is villain one. Then sorry, Iron Man, and then in Captain America 3, Iron Man, Captain America is also another Iron Man. Sorry, Iron Man's also a villain there too. So it looks like they are setting up Tony Stark to go that downward spiral. Now, I'm hoping that they introduce some of that alcoholism into it. If he's going to go down that path, I want to see Tony Stark drink and fall into some of those little vices that he has. Yeah, because he's a really tortured character. He's one of those people who has a imbalanced side to him. So I really hope they throw that in there. But it'll be interesting to see how all that pans out. And it's crazy, not crazy, but it's very interesting to see that they're really going that way with Civil War and having Iron Man in Captain America 3. So anyway, guys, that's it. Just wanted to share that with you and give me your thoughts. It's been a busy day. I just unboxed, of course, the PlayStation TV over there. I'm going to go do some setup and all that stuff. And I'll have that video probably like at 1 a.m. Something tonight. So you guys can check it out and see how to set up your PlayStation TV. But I want you guys to leave your thoughts. What do you think about Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man showing up in Captain America 3? And like I said, Civil War is happening. So leave your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and favorite this video so we can make more videos for you. To subscribe to the channel, top right hand corner of your screen, and down in the description below, we have the links there for you. So this is Thunder E saying thank you and always enjoy your entertainment.